we have been discussed with about cocoa. We had a meeting with I think it was, I forgot what country in the West Africa. They have a cocoa association request a meeting with me to discuss how to use the NLP. And I don't know if anyone's still here. We promised we didn't finish a lot. We can still continue to discuss every time. So the cocoa plant is very important. It's not like a general term of agriculture, like a rice, corn. So it's all the hardy trees, all the multi-year crop is different. And also in Africa, it's different from other, like the place I'm in. My backyard, all the snow is gone. And next week still have some below zero freezing temperature. The freezing temperature will not will stop until May 10. So we have like a 4 season, very different. In the winter time, we keep the heater on all the time. We still have heat right now. Right now it's 50 degree F. So the plants can start, the flowering started. But we don't have a dry and a rainy season. We have 4 seasons: winter, spring, summer, fall. We only can plant from May to summer and early fall. So all the methods different. You have tropical, you have dry season and a rainy season. I just came back from Arizona, the border of Mexico, US. In the summertime, they can over 100 of there was F, so over 40 degrees C all the time. So they don't have all desert, so dry, and the wintertime was a rainy season. Well, it's so-called rainy season, actually it's not too much rain, just not that hot. So we understand the season, so dry season, rainy season. I have a chart. So this is, I'm not sure I got it all right because I'm not in Africa. I don't know if, seems like you have different dry season, rainy season between each different country. I don't know if anyone say I'm doing wrong. So the dry season is, if we see sunlight, it's dry season. If raining, it's a rainy season. Apply to all these crops. Don't forget about the cocoa issue. For all these, any crop, if we have a dry season, which means your soil is totally dry, hot. So you don't have option to put any fertilizer into soil. So then this is a time where, but some plants still surviving in this field, like the multi-year fruit trees. They're still alive. They still need nutrients. They need water, if you still give them. Actually, when I in Arizona, they have a dripping system for the palm trees or something. So they have a dripping system. The water, even in the summertime, they keep water them. But the entire soil is so dry, so you cannot apply any fertilizer into the soil. Doesn't matter you are conventional NPK or NOPF. You still can apply NOPF or NPK if you have a dripping system. You can provide enough moisture in the soil. All the fertilizer, if we put it into the soil, doesn't matter in the soil or your spray, you have to have enough moisture, make all the nutrients water soluble. So the nutrients, the NOPF or conventional NPK or any other fertilizer, they will not go to your plants until in the water solution. They can move from in the soil or on top of the surface of the leaf. Plants can take. So you can see this dry season, since you cannot put any fertilizer in the soil. So only thing you can do is you spray an NOPF on the leaf. So that is also the issue. I'm not talking about a coca, talk about everything. When you spray in the summertime, in the dry season, so I didn't make up this one. I make up this table, but I didn't make up the time. I checked it with Dr. Mbuk or someone else. So this dry or rainy season or different place. So it's when we get it, when we summertime, if see, like here, I only can put NOPF. I don't put any NPK. This is NPK in this dry place. So in the dry place, dry time, you don't put any NPK conversion into soil, even if you wanted to, because it's total waste. The nitrogen NPK, the nitrogen from the NPK into soil, they will be hot, evaporate, disappear. P and K, since they are not water soluble, they may stay in the soil until your next season. You see this NPK I put here is in the beginning of your rainy season. Anytime in the beginning of the rainy season, you start to put something in the soil, either organic, acidic, some minerals, phosphate, or NPK. When you put into soil, and nitrogen is always should put a low amount, don't put a high, because they will disappear. P and K, they can stay in the soil for a while. So if you in the earlier season, if you have how many legs? This is 5.5 months, 4 months, 5 months. So in the earlier season, you put it into the soil, they will here eventually the water, the microorganisms in the soil, they will work on this, make this non-water soluble stuff, make it water soluble during this time, that plants can take. For the then in the dry season, you stop. So you only can use NPK because we spray on the leaf. Especially in the dry season because it's so hot, if we spray have to be in the very early morning or very late in the afternoon to avoid any dry too fast of your spray solution. If you dry too fast, doesn't matter how many dilutions you did. If we put a 1 ml to 1 liter, or if we put a half ml to 1 liter, even you put a quarter ml to a liter. When they dry, we immediately become lost all the water, only the nutrients available. Then we become high concentrated. Especially some crop. Actually, can you see this? Some crop like this, low. This is they need. Looks like they're very fat, like a lot of juice inside. You think they need a lot of nutrients. You think they need a lot of nitrogen. Actually, they're very sensitive to anything on the leaf. So for this plant, if you apply it, you try to avoid apply the on the leaf. In here, we use as this indoor house plant. So all this in the pot. Most time you can kill them by water them. If we forget to water them, they come back. If we forget to give them fertilizer, they survive. If you love them too much, they may die. Because this plant is very sensitive to wet. So if we want, if for the MP, we speak for that. I can talk that. If we want to spray, if we use NOPF on this, actually, 2 weeks ago somebody asked, how do we use NPK, NOPF on this plant? So we can talk about this. The best way to use NOPF for this is soil treatment. You can spray on the leaf, but it have to be very low concentration. The low concentration, I mean, is you're not 1 ml to 1 liter. You can start with maybe 0.25 ml per liter, even less. This is also will remind us the fertilizer principle. Fertilizer principle, we don't have a dosage issue. Every time I say that. Why I keep saying that is I try to repeat. You remember. So fertilizer is not a drug, no dosage requirement. The lower, the better. The less concentration, the better. The more water is better. So for most plants, you can give them on the label required, tell you, put 1 ml to 1 liter or less or half. Some even rice, we discussed in the past. Seems like a 0.5 ml per liter even better, not a 1 ml. But for this, 0.5 is still too much. So the best way is you put into the soil. Let's talk about the strategy for that. The most timing, because in Africa, this plant is you use it as a crop. In normal, northern or warm place, not a hot place, we have this plant as ornamental in the house. I had this plant all the time. I never used it. I should have used it. Some people buy this leaf from grocery. I don't know how people eat it. And you can peel the skin, and you can eat the meat, or you peel the skin, put on for the liquid gel, put on your skin to help your skin, like a lotion. Some people use this as antibiotics issue for the cutting for the grafting for the plants. When you're grafting, you're cutting, put a cutting into the soil. The worst thing is when the cuttings, this tiny bit of the branch tip, you put in the soil, they rotting. So before they germinate the roots, they actually die. So if you dip into this juice or gel, actually they can prevent the dying of their cutting. So this is a little trick people can use. Since you in Africa can be used as a crop, now we need to think about how to fertilize them. Not like in an in-house plant, you just ignore them. Or you change the soil once a year, change the pot, then give the new soil. The best if you can do is you improve your soil condition by adding a lot of organic material. They don't need a lot of nutrients at all. If you give them, they increase yield, grow much faster. But if you don't give them, they still survive. This is plants coming from tropical, from Africa. I don't know from where the original, but they like dry, like hot, like dry. So the best for the apply fertilizer is during the active growing season, which means the plants have to be growing, is not in a dormant situation. So we apply, depends on your location, your region. Then you apply fertilizer when they're during the growing season. Here we cannot survive over the winter outside, so the plants will die off. I have to start plants for new plants, or you take plants from outdoor in your house. For your place, you may cut. How do you harvest them? You might cut and they germinate, a lot of new roots come out. So this is each harvested, almost all the crops, the tea, cocoa, all this coffee beans. If you keep the plants, banana, if you keep plants after your harvesting, you trim it off, pruning, then it's time to apply, either put fertilizer in the soil, or for NPK, or you put a fertilizer NOPF in the soil, or if you can, like you harvest the tea, you pick a tea, each time you pick a tea, then you spray your NOPF. So best time if you the same issue for that. So if you, after harvesting, then you apply fertilizer, they will be growing much faster. Almost all the nitrogen base, even P and K. The best time they use fertilizer is in the growing season, is in the vegetative, such as from small plants to the huge plants. This big curve, when the plants reach the plateau, they don't grow anymore. They start flowering, fruiting. So that time you don't need a lot of fertilizer. The fertilizer you only apply from the small to the big plants. Let them growing leaves and stem and leaves, the cumulative a lot of nutrients. And when during the productive season phase or stage, they will move all the nutrients from the leaf, from the stem to your flower, to your fruiting. So apply all the nutrients, fertilize in the early or middle season. The latest time is in the peak flowering season. Then you can stop. For the Aurora, for these plants, we don't have harvest the flower, so we harvest the leaves. So you can apply all the time. On average, for the year, you can apply totally maybe 4 or 5 times, or every other month. But in the growing season, you apply more. It may be weekly or monthly. During dry season, maybe you quarterly. Each quarter you apply 1 time. So on average, you don't need to apply more than 5 times a year. Okay, this is the time of day we'll discuss almost every crop. This, if compared to the conventional fertilizer for foliar application fertilizer, is different. Is if you apply conventional fertilizer, you can put any time of the day during the day. Even you do this lunchtime, it's okay. It's because you dig a hole, you put it into soil, and you cover it, and you give them water. But for anything you spray on a leaf, you should avoid during the hot time. But the pesticides is different. Pesticides like insecticides, fungicide, you can apply during the daytime, because if you apply in the early season or later season, you actually maybe diluted your pesticides and it will be not effective. But at the end, when a very hot time, a lot of insects, they hide from the surface of the plants. So you cannot reach them. So you still don't get a too hot time. Too hot time, insects will hide, and then your insecticides will not get into the insects. For this crop, is also have issue of the most crop. When you apply soil into soil, you can do it, but these plants very sensitive to soil salt, nutrient concentration, mineral concentration. If it's too high, then not good. So you need, if you want to apply NOPF into the soil, you have to put moisture. You make sure your soil is moisture, not dry. When it's dry, you put it on it. Either it evaporate too fast, or your soil actually have a lot of sediments, a lot of nutrients, a lot of salty, previous stuff surrounding the roots. So you can't really wash away all the old stuff. Then you apply your NOPF, will be much better. Even you apply conventional fertilizer, you need to do that too. So make sure you use clean water. Totally rinse them off, then you apply. But this is tropical plants. They never like very wet. If we put too much water, apply too much solution in it, they die. That's what I just said. You will not kill plants if we forget to water them a month or 2 months. But if you water them every day, every week, you can kill them right away. That's I did it too in the past, in my early time. I love that plant. I keep watering them all the time. They die. So it's thrown away. You don't look at it. After a while, they come back. Or we talk about the concentration already. For almost all the leaf sprayed stuff, chemicals, fertilizers, nutrients, anything, we discussed it about the test last time. Remember how do we do the test? We have 2 methods. One is to follow the concentration on the label. which means for our case, it's a 1 ml to 1 liter, or you will be less. But recommendation is a 1 ml to 1 liter. Then you can test it in a small scale, tiny plot. You can spray to see if any reaction, any response, negative or positive. For the fertilizer, it's small amount. Many times it's always, if we put less, it's always see the positive response. If negative, which means sometimes you actually have leaf burning, don't know where it's coming from, the burning. Still people complain, say, we sprayed, we got the leaf burning. It shouldn't happen, but some people happened. Is your spray not clean or something else? You need to check it out. But the test can prevent this happening. So do the same concentration, small scale, to test. Another test is you cut your lay concentration half, even another half, which means a quarter of your recommendation. Then you can do a large scale. So, okay, I'm going to water them anyway, but I'm not going to put a 1 ml to 1 liter. I'm going to put a 0.25 ml to a liter, and I just do the spray everywhere because you know it's safe. So next time, if nothing happened, only a positive response, next time you can add a little bit more. Don't add too much. You add to the 1 ml to a liter. You can stop. You can start from very low concentration to high concentration, continue add each time if no negative response. For this crop, the recommendation rate, the concentration is already not 1 ml. It's a half. 0.5 ml or even less. Even if you put it in the soil, we still use half. Because these plants, they didn't like any too concentrated stuff. Very sensitive. So we say, okay, put a 0.25 to 1.5 ml per liter. Even do the soil treatment you apply. It's not like other plants. This plant is easy to find your root. Don't drop, if this is plant, don't fertilize from middle of the plants. Let them, leak to the bottom. You put on from the side. Try to avoid touch the leaf. It's safe for the house plant, ornamental purpose plant. Some people said if you actually accidentally to pour the fertilizer onto the leaf, you should wipe them out. For the large field, you cannot do that, but you can just from side to apply to the roots. So this is the way we need to do. You guys are quiet. Let me see if any chatting in the chatting message. Any in the chatting room? Too quiet. I feel lonely. I don't know how to see the chat. Oh, it's a lot of people. I'm sorry. Okay, I'm going to keep talking to myself. Yeah, yourself. I'll say, okay, for the mushroom. Mushroom is even more sensitive than this plant. Mushroom, they like decayed media. The most important that you do sterilize. Your mushroom media have to be very clean. You can try put I'm not going to say it. Let me see if I have any notes. I don't remember we should use too much in the mushroom. I don't have my notes for the mushroom. For the mushroom, I would one thing for the nitrogen for base the fertilizer for NOPF amino acids. If you think it's a nitrogen-based fertilizer, they will be like almost choline related, make your plants more choline. But for the amino acids point of view, they produce a lot of proteins. So this NOPF actually help produce a lot of proteins. So I'm not sure. Let me do some more notes. Let you know next time. So for my feeling is that we don't need a lot of fertilizer for mushroom. The mushroom should only use the nutrients coming from media. But I will do more research and let you know next time. What's other? I lost another. Tomatoes. Tomatoes, yes. Tomatoes, you can use NOPF all the time. Tomatoes is the only thing is if you try, you should cutting off all the the low part of all the leaves, if you can remove this all the leaves. You can spray the tomatoes every other week, even during the peak flower. You keep flowering, you keep doing the work. The tomatoes you can use all the time. But the tomato leaves, the top leaves, much younger, much easier to take the nutrients. The older leaves, the bottom, what I do is, when I see the older leaves, I cut them off. The same as the eggplant. If it's an eggplant, when the lower leaves, you should remove them. Actually, my mom, she will go to the eggplant field garden every week to remove all the older leaves. Two purposes. One is all the leaves, they have a lot of mites, you never know. Actually have insect pests on it. Or the mites are not insects, but we still call them insects. Why mites not insects? Why spiders not insects? Many people say spiders, mites, everything, all little things, all the insects, all bugs. No. Mites, they have 8 legs for each side. Insects, they have 3 legs each side. So if you count them 6 legs total, it's called insects. If you find 8 legs total, so they are not insects. They are mice or spiders. For the old eggplant leaves or corn leaves, low part of the corn leaves, they must have a lot of mites. One of the most dominant mites called Tetronychus. They on the old leaves. So if you can trim them off, do you want to leave the old leaves in the field? You say, oh, I'll leave this old leaves in the field. That's a nutrient. No. All your old leaves, you should take them out in the field. Insects, I'm still calling mice insects. insects, diseases, a lot of these, especially diseases, the mold, they have on all the leaves all the time. For tomatoes, same thing. Tomatoes is relative to the eggplant. So you need to clean anything is not producing any fruitings, you should remove them. Then you can spray. Each time you clean them, clean the field, or you harvest your crop, you pick your tomatoes or pick your leaves. This is time after picking, you spray. Another time is after each time you're pruning. You clean all the branches, clean all the leaves. It's time you spray. Another time is a weeding. I have so many weeds in the field. Let me do some weeding. After the weeding, it's time you spray. So I said, you tell me to every other week spray. When? Oh, I know totally, or monthly, or every other week to spray the NOPF. This is a big time frame. One is exactly time 3 times. After you're picking fruit, this is time. After you're pruning, after you cut all the leaves, all the dead branches, all the trimming out tops, this is time. After you're weeding. So this is all the time. So actually determine what day in that week or what day in this month you do the spray. You don't want to spray your fertilizer, feed it to these leaves that you don't like. You don't want to feed your fertilizer to the weed. You hate them. So this is the time to do that. What other question? Talk on maize, how to apply maize. Okay, I can. No, today's only no. This is an open discussion. When I see a chatting room, you can stop me so I can talk to you. I'm not when you don't ask, and I just do whatever I want to talk. Okay, you asked me how to apply NOPF on the maize. Some people call it corn. I call it corn, but most people call it maize in Africa. For the maize, totally different from a cocoa, totally different for the fruiting trees. One most important is the very short time. This time very short, only several months. And that is grow very fast. They need a lot of nutrients. So I just discussed about this, what time you apply fertilizer. Corn from tiny seedlings. When you see the leaf, got big enough, you start spray. Then you do every other week until if it depends on your framework, it depends on your location. Totally don't spray more than 5 times. So you can fly from the seedlings either every other week or every 3rd week until the plants, you see the top flower, the top flower is a male. And the female is here, the ear. The ear come out, this is the corn ear is a female flower. The silk, the yellow or pink or purple, the color silk, they come out. This is the time you stop for the corn, for the maize. Then before that, you can spray from every other week or every 3rd week. The corn, they need a lot of nutrients. Most important, they need a lot of water. So the fertilizer always needed. The plants always need a fertilizer. More important, they need water. So they need you plus combine the water, give them a lot of water. The nutrients, the dilution, the concentration it depends on how many times you apply. If you apply many times, you can put a little bit less concentration. The corn leaf is kind of like a waxy. It's a tough leaf, so they can tolerate a little bit high concentration. But still, if you first time for you to do that, you still need to consider to use a test method. Remember two test method? I want to repeat all the time. 1 ml to 1 liter, test several plants to see for any response. Or you cut your half your concentration, large scale spray, next time increase a little bit. So corn from seedlings to the silk time, this is the spray the corn. What else? On my vegetables, and the leaf started to show a sign it is where what? Vegetables sometimes is compared to the large field crop, it's more sensitive to anything. So vegetables you can use because you have limited, you don't waste a lot of time things. So you can apply to the soil, or you should still do the test. If you shouldn't have any burn. The thing is, for the amino acids, it's totally nutrient based. You shouldn't have any leaf burn, but we have some trace elements in it. Some minerals, very low concentration. The plants need it. They need all the minerals. They need that. This is generally conventional fertilizer they don't have. Conventional fertilizer is only, they don't give you surplus. They only give you NPK because they are manufactured. They put exactly one inning into the fertilizer. They don't want to give you any extra. But our fertilizer is coming from the naturally digestion of the plants or animal material. So you have all the nutrients plants needed. Amino acids is the most abundant in the NOPF. Trace elements is also there for plants can use. So for the vegetables, you shouldn't have any leaf burning. If any leaf burning, you can do two things, test or you can apply to the soil. Soil, you should do a little bit less. You still can do 1 ml to 1 liter. To all these house plants or garden plants, you can manage. If you can manage it, then you can try to not touch the leaves. But for the large field, you cannot. I hope you are doing great, sir. There is a corporate company that is interested in fertilizer, but I don't know how to get the message to the top because they just wanted some legal documents so that they can all work together. And the other thing, I'm I'm a scientist. I don't know how to get it. You need to talk to your regional manager. Miss Wang, maybe she knows. So you talk to the regional manager. Which country you come from? Ronia, which country you come from?
Okay.
Zambia.
Madam
Yeah.
Ronia, you can talk to Mr. Peter G, your general manager. You signed an email to him requesting the documents. You can make a list and he can contact the head office. So this is the right procedure to apply for the legal documents. I hope this can help you.
Yeah, if you didn't hear, you can message again, and or you will find a regional manager to. I'm not involved in any business issue, so I'm not sure. You don't have his email. You want to give him email?
Uh, you can also, oh, okay, all right, I'm going to give you the email.
Okay, that's which just keep in mind. I want to make it clear. This discussing weekly. We open every week. Most the mission is to help everyone solve any problems. So if you guys keep quiet, don't say anything, no questions, and I just want to just share whatever I have. I thought you need it, but not necessarily you need it. So you can stop me if I don't check the chat all the time, and you can if I don't see your message, then you just speak up, and I will stop. Most important is that I want to talk to you, to hear from you. Is not the lecture. Someone told me the fertilizer can be given to chicken, poultry, and the livestock. Is that right? This is not the first time I hear. It's NOPF. If you read carefully for the Nutriplant plus nutritional fertilizer. If fertilizer, what do you mean fertilizer? Fertilizer is the nutrients of plants. So actually, fertilizer we can call it plant food. Like I eat, this is I can call NOPF. This is my NOPF. All the food, my lunch, my breakfast is all the NOPF for me. All the food is for us. So we call everything, but the NOPF is plant nutrients. For nutrients, it's not a synthesized, it's a naturally product. So it's actually like fruit juice. The NOPF is like vegetable, like totally like fruit juice or what do you call it? Vegetable juice, tomato juice. Tomato juice or fruit juice is same thing for the people. For NOPF, it's like fruit juice for plants, not synthesized, not chemical. So it's if you think that way, if nutrients, if you amino acids in it, if there's something in it, so it's safe. If if accidentally I drink the NOPF, but it's not illegal. It's not on the label. If you feed your chicken, you basically feed them the amino acids, the nutrients. But the standard for the human consumption, for animal consumption, is different from plant consumption. Standard is different. We are not encourage people to use NOPF feed any pets, animals, chickens. But it's a hurt. Some people feed them. I understand the underlying science is just the food. It's not a chemical. It's not a pesticide. It's not a conventional fertilizer. It's not a chemical. is nutrients, just produced for plants to eat, not for animals to eat. For animals to eat, you have to pass different standard. For plants use, we can say, okay, USDA, United States Department of Agriculture, that's what I am. We pass something, all this standard for safe for plants. What's safe for plants? First, no pollution to the soil. No is something, heavy metals. That's what we don't want in your fertilizer. Not toxic to the environment. So this is for the soil requirement. For all this plant standard, we only consider is soil, environmental safety, no toxic, no heavy metals, not killing plants. Most nutrients they cannot kill in plants anyway. Some plants sensitive to some nutrients, some plants to sensitive to other nutrients, but mostly common nutrients are safe, especially for amino acids. They're safe for every plant. You say, can I spray NOPF on that plant? Can I spray NOPF on B plant? Can I spray NOPF on C plant? Yes, NOPF you can spray on any plants because this is all the safe material, naturally produced biological material. It's not chemically synthesized. No plants we will have allergy to NOPF. Even some people feed the chickens. I understand. We don't encourage it. We don't want to get a legal issue. Some people complain, said, you told me you can feed my chickens. No, something happened. You have to pay me. No, we are not buying that. We tell you, don't feed your chickens legally. Don't ask me. Don't blame on me later. So you guys, distributor, don't tell them you can feed the chickens because you have a liability issue, a legal issue. Same thing as you can mix NOPF with other chemicals. Can I mix NOPF with pesticides? Can I mix the NOPF with anything when I spray? Legally, you are doing business. You are not advised if you don't know. Then for the safe side, you say no. If they did, it's their problem. You cannot complain on you. Let me say other question. How can I use it for cashew, not crops, avocados? This is the same thing which maybe next, we're not too much time. For the not cashew, all this like cocoa, coffee, it's a multi-year crop. They always have the principle is during the rainy season, you use maybe that's also the small plants or big plants issue. The mature plant or the young plants. Young plants, they don't care, they don't have the fruiting issue. So you just promote, let them grow large from tiny plant to a bigger plant. Then you can give them a lot. Keep doing. During the growing season, during the rainy season. When the dry season, you cut half time. Also the concentration you need to cut half too. Because the dry season concentration is you are too hot. Normally you spray 1 ml to a liter, you actually maybe do spray half ml to a liter. You have to, we keep talking about this. Well, you have to understand your soil, have to understand your plant, you have to understand your fertilizer. Another thing, you have to understand your temperature, weather. You have to understand the whole ecosystem. Then you make a decision. That's why we have this training or discussion platform. Try to understand everything by repeating every time to each crop. We to analyze each crop. Then you hear something. Oh, for that crop it is. For my crop it is like close. Yeah, they're related. Related by the age, type, similar situation. Then I can use that to put it in your system. Okay, then you can determine what I do. Your dry season, okay, the last time, the lower concentration. When the wet season, rainy season, you do a little bit high concentration, but do not do too much. Plants can only take a limited amount of fertilizer nutrients. If you give them too much, you waste it. We want the business. We want you spray more, but we protect the farmers, help promote agriculture is our ultimate goal. The making money is secondary. When help others, in the end, they trust you, help you too, help you back. So we always want to from your heart to help your farmers. And all the nuts, we same thing. You talk about the time, the rainy season. You can spray monthly or quarterly. What time in each month spray is after you harvest, after you're picking. For all the nuts, some nuts you picking one time, some nuts you picking all the time. So each big harvest after you picking, then you do the spray. Each time you pruning, you cut all your branch, that stuff. This time you to do the spray. And if you have the possibility, if your plant's too high, you cannot spray. Then you can do the dripping line, the canopy on all sides. You dig 10 centimeter deep, 10 centimeter wide, a little bit of canal. You put diluted NOPF. You need to water your canal first, make your soil wet first. Then the basic practice is you water your soil a week early. Your soil totally moistured. Then you pour it into it. Otherwise, if your soil dry, you pour your solution in it, immediately will be disappear. Then you lost your money. So all the soil application, you have to make your soil moisture beforehand. Like I just talked in the earlier today, you need to pre-moisture your soil, then make you efficient, make every cent money you work for. Yeah, tea and coffee. If I mix them with spray, but I don't finish it. Okay. If you have all tank mixed, you cannot finish today. You can do it tomorrow. It's not a big deal. So, but don't leave on the sun, under the sun. Don't leave it at the hot place. Leave in the shade. Leave in the cooler place. And cover it. Make sure tie the cap. Don't get a spill. Don't get the animals get it. Don't let your kids get it. Keep it safe that's okay. For following week, still be fine. Only thing is sometimes your spray, all your spray, recommendation is how much you prepare usually, and you rinse 3 times. Why? It's not for your fertilizer purpose. It's for your protection of your equipment, for your spray. Every spray is your weapon, like your rifle of your soldier. This is your weapon. Your spray is your farm tool. If you take good care of it, one spray can last you for many, many years. I have a spray used 30 years still working. But if you don't take care, I loan my spray to another people. They have a chemical in it. They sit there for whole winter, and actually the clock is, rusted. So it's not a good for thing. Every time you spray, finish it, even you spray fertilizer, you should rinse 3 times. Make your flushing everything your spray. Make your spray always clean, always ready to go condition. This also avoid leaf burning. Some people got a leaf burning. I was think they might have some residues from previous spray chemicals in it, and they got a leaf burning. So protect your spray by flushing your spray and spray them out with clean water 3 times. This your spray lasts many, many years. Okay, next time some people have a tea and a coffee. I make a note and a mushroom, tea and a coffee. And if you guys don't speak it up, I just talk to my own. So like today, good, I check your chat room, so then I can answer your question. I enjoy do that because if I can help people, it make me happy. I see you guys next time. If I missed anything, and okay, for a comparison of let me read you more. Oh, we have a lot of chat, a lot of notes. Let's talk about the next week. Thank you so much. Have a good weekend.
Thank you so much, Professor Zhang. Thank you so much for tuning in for today. So next week, we're going to have another presentation of the basic one, by Mini Min. And after 2 weeks, you're going to get the answer from Professor about how to apply the NLPF in coffee and tea and mushroom. So if you have any questions, please you can send your questions to the management or to Mr. Budiman. Thank you so much. Enjoy your weekend. Thank you so much, Professor, once again. Have a nice weekend. We see you next time. See you next Saturday.
Yeah. If I miss the next time, you still put in chat room, always speak up. So then I can remind me to do that.
Okay,
Thank you
Madam
so much.
Ronia, I'm going to send you an email later because after this, I'm going to have another presentation for North America. Thank you, and we'll see you next week.
I'm going to have lunch with Dr. Li, your president in an hour.
Okay,
so
so
she just came
best
back from
regards.
US.
Best
Yeah, okay,
regards
I tell
to
her.
her and
Yeah.
enjoy your meal. So thank you very much. See you next time.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye.